Let me just tell you why this fight is not gonna happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line.
Fighting on Netflix, but not so fast, my friend. There's another, yes, I said another domestic abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis, and that may either destroy, postpone, change.
Ryan Garcia got people talking after hinting he could replace Gervonta Davis in a big fight. But before fans got too excited, Oscar De La Hoya stepped in, making it clear that Ryan isn't taking Tank's spot anytime soon. Meanwhile, Showbiz the Adult reacted to the growing rumors with surprise and excitement during his recent stream. He claimed to have heard that Jake Paul and Most Valuable Promotions sent an official offer to Ryan Garcia to replace Gervonta "Tank" Davis for a potential bout. Showbiz added that with the weight limit around 195 pounds, the matchup could be approved as a professional fight, sparking wild reactions online.
I am hearing that Jake Paul and Most Valuable Promotions have sent an offer to Ryan Garcia to replace Gervonta "Tank" Davis for that fight. And I'm hearing that since the weight difference isn't that much, and the weight limit being that of 195, Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia can be a pro fight. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, hold on. Apollo will be shamed. Oh, you done lost it.
You and me? Run it. Run it! Oh, hell yes. Y'all heard it here.
After talking about the rumored offer from Jake Paul's team, Showbiz the Adult shared more of his thoughts on the situation. He said the main question isn't about money, but whether Ryan should even take the fight. Showbiz also pointed out that Ryan once criticized these types of fights and called them bad for boxing.
Gervonta, whatever going on with him legally, I don't know. Like I said, I don't cover those things, but what I do cover is the damn fight. Now, Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul. Why should Ryan Garcia take this fight? Number one, with Ryan Garcia saying that the fight with Jake and Gervonta was a disgrace and was some WWE. Not only did he make the X post, he said it in an interview, and then he said he didn't even want to talk about this. Don't ask him no damn question.
What do you think of Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis? I know on Instagram you call it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Now, Jake Paul, he responded to that, dissing Ryan's ass because Ryan got knocked out by Gervonta.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing is turning into the WWE.
Showbiz then talked about how Jake Paul reacted to Ryan Garcia's comments. He said Jake didn't hold back and reminded everyone that Gervonta Davis knocked Ryan out. Showbiz then questioned if Ryan taking a fight with Jake would make him look like a hypocrite or simply another smart business move.
I think he's just mad that I'm gonna get an opportunity to beat Tank, and he obviously got knocked out and embarrassed, so his insecurities are coming out.
So they're not bad buddies. But if Ryan Garcia take this fight, would that be him being a hypocrite? Not exactly. The reason why Ryan Garcia saw the fight with Gervonta as a disgrace was because of the weight difference. Don't forget, when he spoke to Ariel, he said that he'll fight Jake Paul.
I mean, given your stardom and his stardom, obviously, Jake versus Ryan is a gigantic fight.
Huge. It would be huge. And I see it everywhere. You know, everywhere I go, people are asking me to fight Jake Paul, which I got to give the people what they want.
And he'll fight Jake Paul because of the same reason he wanted to defend Manny Pacquiao. He'll fight Jake Paul for what he did to Mike Tyson.
In addition, as news about Jake Paul's next opponent continued to spread, boxing analyst Wade Plemons shared his thoughts on the situation. He explained that the original fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis was already facing issues, and new reports made things even more uncertain. Wade broke down the background, from Jake's training to Tank's latest controversy, giving fans a clearer picture of what's really happening.
I just want to say, I was starting to get more into this fight as we got closer to it. I've seen videos of Jake Paul training with the likes of Ray Ford, Montana Love, Shakur Stevenson, and others in his camp. I saw a picture, no video. I would love to see the video of Jake Paul sparring Shakur Stevenson. I want to know what's going on down there in Puerto Rico. I've told you guys this many times, Jake takes these fights very, very seriously. And I just thought, okay, this is gonna get a little more interesting than I previously thought. I thought it would be a bit of a mismatch, a bit of a, boxing experience to Gervonta Davis. Jake bringing the size and power, and we're gonna get one of these stalemates where no one wants to take a real risk, and both guys are gonna get paid. Turns out no guy may get paid.
Wade explained that the matchup could now be in trouble after fresh allegations surfaced against Gervonta Davis. He said this isn't the first time Tank has faced legal problems, pointing out that repeated issues raise serious concerns. Wade added that while some past allegations were dropped, others remained unresolved. With this latest case, he questioned whether Tank's upcoming fight would even move forward.
Gervonta Davis might be kicked off the card because we have a new, not champion, a new domestic violence abuse allegation against Gervonta Davis. There's been a lot of allegations against Tank, and some of those have been dropped, and others have not really been pursued, and you don't really know what's what behind the scenes with people, but when things like this happen over and over, I think this is his 4th or maybe 5th allegation of domestic abuse, you kind of start to have to look at the person that's being accused of such and go, why do you keep ending up in these situations? And the way it's described, we've even seen Tank do some of the things already on camera, but let's get into this thing and then...
Furthermore, after rumors about a possible Jake Paul versus Ryan Garcia fight spread online, Oscar De La Hoya decided to address the situation himself. He explained that the fight can't happen because both fighters are tied to different platforms and contracts. Ryan Garcia is signed with Golden Boy and fights on DAZN, while Jake Paul fights on Netflix. Oscar said that's simply how business works in boxing.
What's up, guys? Happy Saturday. So I wake up to calls from reporters asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business.
Oscar continued by saying that even if Ryan feels limited or frustrated, legal rules must still be respected. He made it clear that contracts with DAZN and Golden Boy prevent any crossover fight with Jake Paul. Oscar ended his message by confirming that Ryan's next fight will be officially announced by him soon, asking fans to stay patient for verified updates.
Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No, you have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced by me, who he's fighting, and when he's fighting next. See you guys.
Following Oscar De La Hoya's explanation about why the fight can't happen, the conversation continued online. Fans and boxing commentators started debating whether a deal could still work despite the contract issues. Showbiz. The adult then reacted to Oscar's comments, saying he respects him but believes there's still a way Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul could make the fight happen.
Golden Boy, come on, brother. I have mad respect for you, dog. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Oscar, listen, you know there's a world where Ryan Garcia versus Jake Paul can happen. I mean, I know Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, Jake Paul fights for Netflix, but I remember Ryan Garcia fighting for DAZN and Gervonta fighting for Showtime. And because the world wanted that fight, you had a DAZN/Showtime fight. Wait a second, Gervonta fights for the PBC.
After breaking down Oscar De La Hoya's explanation, Showbiz continued analyzing the situation in more detail. He pointed out that Oscar's own words revealed something important, that Ryan Garcia truly wants to fight. Showbiz noted that Ryan's frustration about being held back shows his eagerness to stay active and make big fights happen, especially given his past success in major pay-per-view events.
And here's the most revealing part. Here is the biggest part, to be honest, where he said that Ryan was ranting, talking about, you trying to stop me from making money, meaning Ryan wants to fight.
Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No.
That's the most revealing part. I should put this at the beginning because that is the biggest part of the whole thing. Ryan wants to fight. He's ranting, saying that you're trying to stop me from making money. He's like, no, we just can't. but Ryan was a part of his fight with Gervonta, which is one of the biggest pay-per-view fights recently, right? In the past like 5 to 7 years. And that was a co-network fight. There's a world where it happens because you were a part of it.
As the debate over Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul's possible fight continued, more information started to surface from reliable sources. Reports suggested that the discussions weren't just online talk, but might actually be happening behind the scenes. Then, sports journalist Chris Mannix shared an update, revealing new details about Jake Paul's team and their search for a replacement opponent for Gervonta Davis. Tweeted, "Representatives for Jake Paul have made an offer for Ryan Garcia to fight Paul in December," two sources with knowledge of the offer told at SI Now. Garcia is not the only opponent Paul's team has approached as they aggressively pursue a replacement for Gervonta Davis. Wade then referenced reports from journalist Chris Mannix, who confirmed that Jake Paul's team and Netflix were already looking for a replacement opponent. He also cited a story by Andreas Hale from ESPN, which detailed new civil allegations against Gervonta Davis just 2 weeks before his planned exhibition fight. Wade ended by noting that the fight was always meant to be more of a show than a true contest.
Chris Mannix on Twitter says Netflix and reps for Jake Paul have been exploring potential replacements for Gervonta Davis. Sources familiar with the situation told SI Now. Paul Davis, scheduled for November 14th, is in limbo after new allegations of domestic violence against Gervonta Davis. I was in the car. I didn't know if this was real, but I had seen a report, and this came out, I think on October, it came out a couple days ago, but it was from October 27th, and there was a civil suit over domestic allegations just 2 weeks ahead of this fight. This is from Andreas Hale, our guy over at ESPN.com. He essentially wrote the article on it and went into details. So let's take a read. Gervonta Tank Davis has once again found himself in legal trouble just 2 weeks before his exhibition fight. And yes, it was going to be an exhibition. I know it was billed as a exhibition with, a winner and loser, but let's be honest about it. Two guys, massively different weights, massively different experience. It was going to be an exhibition.
After Wade Plemons gave his detailed take on the growing situation, Showbiz the Adult joined the discussion with his own reaction. He talked about the latest legal troubles surrounding Gervonta Davis and how they might impact the planned fight. Showbiz explained that the issue appeared to be a civil case, but warned it could become more serious if things continue to unfold.
What happens in the ring? The fight may be canceled. It's a civil suit, from my understanding, and I don't want to, confuse you guys or misinform you guys. I didn't look into it much, but from my understanding, it's a civil suit. It probably could turn into worse. A woman who is a waitress at a club. So I don't know all the details. You guys should check the details, but Jake Paul is looking for a replacement for Gervonta Tank Davis, man, and I get it, okay, because it's stuff you don't mess with. Gervonta is a repeat offender of this, or at least with allegations.
Showbiz continued, again in a serious but calm way. He said earlier he joked about Jake Paul's team being like superheroes fighting Darth Davis. Now, he explained the fight isn't fully canceled yet, but Jake Paul is already searching for a new opponent because of the problems surrounding Gervonta Davis, showing how unpredictable and messy this situation has quickly become for everyone involved.
What I said earlier today for the Facts Friday, Jake Paul having his Avengers for Thanos. I called it Jake Paul's Knights versus Darth Davis. It's not canceled quite yet, all right? But Jake Paul is looking for a replacement, and that's the latest news. Damn. My take on Gervonta. I don't have much because I wasn't there. I don't know everything that happened, and of course, I'm not going to jump on one side or the other. But I'm going to say this as a general statement.
With all the uncertainty around Gervonta Davis possibly being dropped from the Jake Paul fight because of his latest legal issues, fans started asking what might happen next. Reporters turned to promoter Eddie Hearn for insight into whether the matchup could still take place. During an interview, he was asked if the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight could still happen before the end of 2025.
There would have to be a lot of things that fall into place. but it's possible.
When the discussion turned to what it would actually take to make a new Jake Paul fight possible, Eddie Hearn gave a detailed answer. He explained that many things would need to align, including broadcast deals and approvals from DAZN. Hearn said he's already spoken with Jake Paul's manager, Nikisa, and mentioned that Anthony Joshua's reaction was simple. He's ready whenever and wherever the fight happens.
One of the things that would have to fall into place, I mean, I am exclusive to DAZN. AJ is exclusive to DAZN. So without, DAZN's consent or blessing or a deal that DAZN are happy with, we wouldn't move forward anyway. I've been hounded by the media all day about have you spoke to Jake Paul, this, that. Yes, I've spoken to Nikisa. We've talked over it and around it. I know the situation.
Have you spoke to Anthony Joshua about it?
Yes.
What was his response?
Just let me know where and when. I mean, he would, of course, we've discussed this before. We don't get too excited because we don't know what's for real and what's not for real. But as I told you 3 or 4 months ago.
As everything stands, the situation around Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia, and Gervonta Tank Davis is more complicated than ever. Between Oscar De La Hoya shutting down crossover talks, legal troubles surrounding Tank, and Jake Paul searching for a new opponent, boxing fans are watching a drama that feels bigger than any fight announcement. If Ryan Garcia truly wants to step in, it could shake up the entire boxing landscape, crossing promotional lines and breaking traditions in the sport. But if Oscar stands firm, fans might have to wait a little longer to see whether Ryan's next move brings more excitement or more frustration. Do you think Ryan Garcia should go against Oscar's stance and take the Jake Paul fight anyway, or stay loyal to Golden Boy and wait for a traditional boxing matchup? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.